I want to talk to you about something that happened yesterday on my TikTok live that I think is going to land for a lot of you, because it's one thing to talk about showing up fully as a healer, owning your truth, owning your power, sharing your gifts, speaking your truth, showing up authentically as who you are and what it is that you're here to do, sharing your gifts and abilities and your soul codes. But it's another thing to be tested on it real time. And yesterday, about 10 minutes into my TikTok live, I got tested. Now, the irony of this, truly, and also, I'm not immune to any of this. It just doesn't bother me. So, and I'll talk about that in just a second, but let me just paint the picture for you. Yesterday, I was doing a new moon ritual and Reiki healing on my TikTok live. I have a background that I upload that lets people know what it is that we're doing until I get the features unlocked on TikTok live that we can actually do it in TikTok. And it just said Reiki healing. And then we were talking about spirituality. I was talking about Reiki. We were getting ready. We were like diving into like the rituals and things of that nature. And someone came into my comments as they were watching, projecting their religion at me. Now, before I go any further, I want to be very, very clear on something. I've said from the beginning, the very beginning of my journey, when I shifted my business over 10 years ago from life and fitness, like life, fitness, and health coaching to spiritual side, I've always said, God, source, universe, angels, guides, loved ones, we welcome everyone. Whatever your belief system is absolutely beautiful, and we honor you. We love it 100%. In fact, one of our quantum illumination Reiki masters and teachers, she has a very strong faith, goes to church. She believes in her God. And I love that. And so whatever your belief system is, it's always welcome. Always. So when I saw that comment, my first instinct, especially when I'm on a TikTok live, is when anything comes in that's like projection or, kind of spammy or anything like that, I just simply delete and block and I just continue the conversation. Like, it's not a big deal, right? And I was literally mid-sentence, finger getting ready to delete, and something stopped me. Because I realized that this was actually an opportunity. It wasn't an opportunity to argue or defend or to shrink. And I never, ever want anybody to feel down about anything that it is that I say. I always set the intention for my lives, and anything that I do is to help you feel better when you leave than when you came. And so I realized this was an opportunity to lead in the frequency of what I teach, real time, in front of everyone watching. And so I did. Now, the person that had said this, the comment, had already exited the live, but I went ahead and I addressed it with calm, with steadiness, with zero defense mechanism up. It wasn't about religion, but it was about the concept, right? Where I had this opportunity to show every healer watching what it looks like to hold the frequency or to lead the frequency when someone else's projection comes your way. That's not something you can teach from a script. That is embodiment. Now, there would have been a time where my nervous system would have spazzed, for sure. And I can say with full confidence that I had done a lot of the healing work around this. I want to say sometime in 2021, 2022. At the end of 2022, I was like full launch into an 18-month modern day witch hunt, where a spiritual group of people started harassing, cyberbullying, all the things. And it was a trip. And there were definitely times where I was bracing myself, even when I would open up the back end of my own website, which I'm in there a lot because that's where we send the emails from. That's where like everything, all my programs, everything is back end. So if there's any websites that I'm on the most, it's that one because it's all connected. And so I was just bracing myself, and comments or reviews or anything like that, which did happen, would sting, would lay me out. And I had to one by one pull out from the root. Now when I noticed this comment and when I chose to share the wisdom from this and use it as an opportunity to lead, it was less about what that person had said or projected. And it was more about, this is a beautiful example of what I'm talking about, and the conversations that we've been having here in Rain Era, and also the conversations that we've been having literally everywhere with everyone. It's also the concept of audacity, right? Where, now I'm not saying this was a wolf, right? But it's like the concept of like the wolves that are knocking at the door, the people that are whispering from the cheap seats, right? But it's also people who are sharing their opinion or projecting whatever it is through their own lens of the way that they're living life. And so for me, I was like, okay, this is a great opportunity to show you that I'm not immune to any of this that comes through. And this is a beautiful opportunity for us to give ourselves permission to let people say whatever they're going to say and allow ourselves to stand in what I call the eye of the storm energy. Now, it's one thing to say that, and it's another thing to embody it and actually feel that, and to feel truly unbothered, because I call it unbothered, but it's calm, it's aligned, it's grounded. It's anchored in our truth. And the way that I got there is through what we do inside of Audacity, what we will be doing inside of Audacity, what we do inside of like the mentorship work that I do, and also through Quantum Illumination Reiki, where we're doing the subconscious healing, we're doing the energetics mastery, we are clearing up the things that had been bothering us or people's projections. And so here's why I'm sharing this with you today. Because so many healers are still 1 foot in and 1 foot out of what I call the healer's closet or the broom closet. It's like you're showing up, but just enough. It's like you're sharing your gifts, but the volume is turned down. It's like you're visible, but not fully. And part of the reason is exactly this. Remember, I've been talking about closing the tab recently. I think I've talked about it in a few audios here, but I've definitely been talking about it in some other places, for sure on TikTok Live. If you guys are not joining me on TikTok, I am going live almost every day this week. And I'll try to continue that trend as we go forward as well, because I'm honestly having the time of my life. But it's closing the tab. It's when the tabs are running in the background, it's like you can show up, but if there's those fears, I call them like the gremlins that are sitting in the corner, right? You know that it's there, but it's not super visible. And so you just go anyway, but you can feel it underneath the surface. And it's like comes up in the whispers, the thoughts, the unhelpful patterns, the sensations that you feel in your body. This is very human. The fear of, and it's like the fear of what happens when someone projects their beliefs, their doubts, or their opinions on you. It's the fear of the comment or the judgment, or to have to hold your ground in public, which I know is uncomfortable. And here's what I also know. We've been talking about healers as leaders. This is a huge belief system of mine. I believe that healers need to be leaders. You cannot lead from the healer's closet. There's a depth of transformation that you are here to help people. You're here to help them. You're here to serve them and support them and help them lead. We can't do that when we're 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And the people that need you the most, they need to see you fully in it, unshakable, grounded, certain of who you are and what you're here to do. And it doesn't mean that you're not human. It doesn't mean that you don't experience fear. I think I told you guys, I don't know if this was last week. Oh man, I went through it right before we went to Costa Rica with imposter syndrome, which I'm going to bring forward this week as well. But the conversation of imposter syndrome, but it's I was preparing to fly to Costa Rica and to speak on stage and facilitate QIR internationally. And that imposter syndrome creeped in big. And I hadn't felt that in a while. And I was like, oh, there it is. That's why I say it's not new level, new devil. It's new level, same devil. It's just showing up in a different way. And we pull it out from the root. So when you are leading from the frequency of certainty, of conviction, of owning who you are and what it is that you're here to do in the way that it is that you are meant to show up in the world, not the way that I'm meant to show up in the world, but the way that you are meant to show up in the world, that builds that trust. And it's not the perfect caption. It's not the filtered version or the safe post, but it's the willingness to allow yourself to be fully seen, even when it's uncomfortable, and especially when it's uncomfortable. Even when someone projects, or when the comment comes through that makes you want to close the app, but that eye of the storm energy, that responding, not reacting, that witnessing what's going on, but not allowing yourself to get swept away in it, that steadiness, that calm, aligned, grounded, that's the work. That is the embodiment. And that's exactly what coming fully out of the healer closet makes possible. So I want you to sit with this journaling prompt. I think we've talked about this yesterday. I can't remember. Every day is like flowing together. Does anybody else feel like that? Like time is like kind of meshing together. It's very bizarre. But what would I do if I wasn't afraid of being seen? What would I do if I wasn't afraid of being seen? Sometimes when the fears come up, whether it's being seen or, whatever it is, if there's a fear coming up, sometimes I ask myself, what would I do? And then I go do it. Because then I'm building the evidence as to how I'm not going to be burned at the stake in this lifetime. And then this week's embodiment practice is to share one thing that had been holding you back. And let us witness you. Put it in the comments. Drop it below. And if this is the work that you know you are ready to go deeper into, allowing yourself to be seen, allowing yourself to clear the fear of being seen, even the imposter syndrome, that fear of what will people say? What will they think? What will they do? Because I know that you're meant to go bigger wherever you are in your healing business, or your healing journey, whether you're brand new and you haven't launched yet, or you're somewhere in between, or you have a business and you're ready to go bigger. The work is the same. It's not different. But the difference is the work that has been done before. It's like that definition of insanity, right? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, which we love doing the meditations, the journaling, the grounding, the inner child work, the shadow work, etc. And yes, they help us feel better. And also, when there's specific things that continue to come up over and over and we continue to do the same things, we need to actually do something a little bit different. And that's where the work that we're doing in Audacity will come in, where we're healing to the root. We're going to the subconscious. We're clearing out. We're closing the tabs. We are closing those tabs around the fear of being seen, and specifically the fear of being seen and imposter syndrome, and then whatever else comes up for you guys inside of there as well. So if this is the work that you feel like you're ready to do next, DM me Audacity or comment below Audacity. This is exactly what we're going to clear together.